Hey guys, welcome back to another HLO healthy recipe. Today we're going to be doing a delicious, I hope, because this is really expensive, paprika shrimp and sausage paella. Now I say it's expensive because this requires a few fairly expensive ingredients that I don't normally stock, and I doubt a lot of people are going to normally stock. So I'm just warning you in advance, this cost me about 50 bucks. I had some of the basics, but did have to spend some money to get some of these special ingredients. So let's go through them here. First up, a pound of largest shrimp you can get. Okay, I'm just getting the jumbos. They happen to be on sale, about $9, so that wasn't too bad. But these are the biggest ones that you can buy in a bag. And got a little bag here of petite green frozen peas. You could use fresh if you wanted to. We're going to use some minced garlic, one container of reduced sodium chicken broth. Now we're going to get into some of the expensive stuff. This is saffron. It comes in little threads, and they look like literally little threads. These are about 15, 16, 17 bucks a jar. We're going to be using one of the little containers inside for this batch. So obviously if you don't have one of these, that adds significantly to the cost of this recipe. But you can make it 4 times. Next is paprika. We're going to be using 2 kinds. This is normal, what you'll see referred to as sweet paprika. This is cheap. This is smoked paprika. Not cheap. This is a $8 or $9 item. Whether or not it makes a huge difference in the recipe is yet to be determined. This is a modification of one I found online. I've never made this before, so I'm hoping it'll be worth it. Then we've got some onion powder. That's obviously cheap. 1 can of no salt added diced tomatoes. Of course, you could dice a fresh one if you wanted to. We're going to be using a little bit of regular salt and pepper. We have some turkey sausage. I have 6 green bell peppers. Do I have 6 or 4? No, I'm sorry, I have 4. And 1 large white onion. And what am I missing? I know there was one more thing I was going to mention. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Quinoa, as I'm told it's pronounced. Personally, I would say quinoa, and that's what I said to the grocery guy, and he kind of laughed. But yes, Janet informed me that it's called quinoa, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. It looks like couscous or, some kind of rice. But this stupid little box was $9, and we're going to be using the whole thing. We're going to be using 2 cups for this, so yeah, there's probably maybe 3 in there if we're lucky. So you do need a big box or a whole box here. This is found, at least in my grocery stores, in the health food department. It's not by the pasta or the rice or the couscous or anything like that. It's over in its special section. Oh, look at that. It says quinoa. Yeah, I'm just blind. But it's organic, which means I can charge twice as much. Ooh, wheat-free, gluten-free. Oh, we can triple the price. Yeah, that's pretty much all it means to me. But that's what the recipe is calling for, so we're going to give it a shot and see how it comes out. It's going to be very easy to make. First step is I need to thaw the shrimp. We're going to peel and devein them and take the tails off. We're going to chop up the onion and peppers. We're going to slice the sausage, which is a little tough because if it's not pork sausage, it doesn't really like to cut that easily. But we're going to cut it into basically little slices, little bite-sized chunks. Do the best you can. Usually the skin will just kind of come off with one piece. Don't worry about that. Just get it into little chunks of turkey sausage, and they'll cook up just fine. Once they cook, they stay together. So don't worry about that. But we will be basically just sautéing the sausage. Well, let's see. First, I'm going to do the shrimp. Then I'm going to do the sausage, and they come out and it's all going to be in one pan. And then we're going to do the veggies. Then we put the liquid in, let the quinoa cook up, basically like rice. And that should be it. And then put everything back in warm. So I'm going to get going here. Got a little bit of prep to do, and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, got all the prep done, and that did take quite a while, but mainly because I was doing stuff here for the video. If you're just cooking this flat out, you can be doing 2 things at once, but I've got everything proportioned out here for easy show and tell. I have the shrimp peeled, deveined, and most importantly dried, because what we're going to do is dredge them in this here. This is half a teaspoon each of paprika, smoked paprika, and onion powder. So what I'm going to do is mix this up a little bit, and then we're just going to lightly coat the shrimp. I'm just going to toss them right in here. Get rid of this plate. Just want to give them some extra flavor. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this pan on to medium-high. You can see I'm using a fairly deep pan. I'm doing a large batch. I didn't do a huge one because, you know, didn't know if I'm going to like it or not. We'll see how it comes out. And I'm just going to put in a couple teaspoons of olive oil. Let me get it out here. Of course, now my hand's all dirty, so I'll use my other one. Just so we can sear up this shrimp. That looks pretty good. Nice coat. Don't want to waste any of this stuff. You know, interestingly, you can definitely smell the smokiness of that smoked paprika. It smells exactly like if you took regular paprika and added liquid smoke. It's that exact same smell. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that. You could probably, I bet you could probably just use regular paprika and a little bit of liquid smoke. There we go. That looks beautiful. And I've got 1 pound of shrimp in here, so a couple dozen of what you can find in the bag there. If you want to buy the really big ones at the store, you just get a pound, pound and a half. But those get crazy expensive. Those were 15 bucks a pound at the seafood counter. But man, are they good. Best shrimp I ever had. I swear to you, they were the size of my fist. It was at the Palace for a concert I was seeing, and I was up in Detroit. And I wonder if that's still there. Anyway, it was for a concert, and I was in a suite. And they had all the food catered in. And they had this mountain of shrimp. I mean, it was like a huge pyramid plate of shrimp. And they were as big as my fist. No joke. Absolutely delicious. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to lay these in. We're going to cook them about 3 minutes aside. Pan should have been a little hotter, but it'll get there. At least this way it's not splattering all over me. We want to sear these. It's important that you don't overcook shrimp, because they will turn to rubber. They're going to cook a little bit more when we finish the dish. We're not going to be tossing this in the stuff. It just goes on at the very end to basically warm up. There we go. Got some sizzle going. Get the rest of these in real quick. We're basically just grilling these up. So let them set a few minutes, flip them, and then we're going to take them out. Oh yeah, and we need to be using the lid here. Helps things cook more evenly, keeps the steam in there. So I'm going to let this go for about 3 minutes. Now we'll flip them over another 3 minutes. Smells really good. Paprika really brings out a sweetness in meat. Okay, now the shrimp comes out and the sausage goes in. We're just going to cook this until it's browned. Okay, we're nice and browned. Now, out comes the sausage and in goes the veggies. We're going to cook the onions and the green pepper for about 10 minutes. Want everything to get nice and soft. And you need to stir it. Just a few more minutes to go here, and the veggies, they've started to reduce, so the water's coming out. It's the first couple minutes when you put vegetables into a pan, you really got to watch it so they don't scorch and burn. Once they start to release their moisture, it's a lot safer, and you don't have to constantly stir it. Now we're getting to the point where they're starting to get soft. You can kind of press on the green pepper to see. You want it to be squishy because you don't want it to be so raw that it has a bite to it. But you don't want it to reduce to nothing because we want the stuff in the dish. Man, I'll tell you what, this smells so good. Combination of peppers and onions, especially when it's seared or roasted, oh, just heavenly to me. I mean, it smells like a really good slice of pizza. I love that green pepper smell. In a couple more minutes here, what we're going to do is add the garlic. We've got 6 cloves worth. And 1 can of the no salt diced tomatoes, or you could use a fresh tomato. And we're just going to cook that for a couple minutes, just to let it start heating up. Alright, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put in the garlic. For the garlic, you need to be careful because it can very easily burn. So you want to keep it moving around. We're just looking to distribute this stuff and heat it up. We don't have to cook any of this. The tomatoes are going to cook in the next step. So now just mix it around. Just give it a stir here for a minute or two. Let some of that excess water steam off. I drained the can. You don't have to get it bone dry, but you don't want that extra juice from the can in here. You can hear it's calming down because it hit all that moisture. Man, that smells good. Alright, I'm going to let this go for a couple minutes here, and we'll move on. Okay, now we're going to add the main flavors. What I've got is 1 teaspoon each of salt and fresh ground pepper, and a ½ teaspoon of the smoked paprika. That's going in. Get in there. Alright. Give that a quick stir. And we're also going to put in our saffron. I'm using one of the little containers. It's about 20 threads worth. And I have to say that this recipe would not be the same without it, because this has a very unique smell, and I'm going to bet a very unique flavor. So now we're going to stir all this in, get it distributed. I want to get this all nice and hot. Now we're going to put in 1 container. This is a 32-ounce reduced sodium chicken broth. And we're going to put in our frozen peas. Give that a stir. This is going to take a little bit of time to come back up to temp, but we want it at a nice solid simmer. So give it a stir every few minutes. Probably take about 5-10 minutes to heat back up, because those peas were fresh out of the freezer. And then we'll be ready for the last step. Alright, now we've got a good steamy simmer going. I turned the heat up high to heat it up quickly. Now I'm going to come down to an actual simmer. Put in our quinoa. Stir this around, and we are going to let this simmer without doing anything to it for 15 minutes. Just want to get it all coated, get it distributed in here. And that entire box was 2 cups. That's what we're using in here, is 2 cups. Now, I'm assuming this stuff is going to puff way up. These things are like the size of birdseed, or little mini BBs. I hope they really expand, because there is not much in here for 50 bucks, let me tell you. It smells good. Just hope it tastes as good as it smells. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put the lid on. Got the heat way down to a simmer. And I'm going to come back in 15 minutes. I forgot to mention you want to have your lid just slightly cracked, because we want this steam to escape. Okay, the quinoa is cooked. Now we're just going to bring it all together and heat it up. Meat goes right on top. Lid goes on. We'll let that simmer for a couple minutes, and we'll plate it up. And let me tell you, I just went out to get the mail. I can smell this at the end of my driveway, and it smells absolutely delicious. So I can't wait to try this out. Here we go. Wow, that really didn't come up much at all. Definitely a strange looking little concoction there. Alright, I want to get some of everything in here. Got shrimp, got some veggies, got some turkey. There we go. Smells good. I'm going to try the turkey first here. It's probably pretty hot. Huh. Can't say I can really taste the quinoa at all. It has the texture of like salmon roe, little tiny, almost gelatinous balls. Definitely not like rice or barley. Pretty close to couscous. That's definitely going to be the closest mainstream. Let me see how much of the spices I can taste on the shrimp here. Shrimp is a lot better. Oh, that shrimp is delicious. You can really taste the smoked paprika on it. Turkey, not so much. I mean, it tastes good, but the paprika doesn't really come out much on the poultry. But yeah, this quinoa, really neutral. No flavor, virtually no texture. Have to say, I think that's a big waste of money. I would do this again with white rice. I think that would be awesome. But no, I will not be spending money on quinoa ever again. It's good. Definitely good, but that's not worth $8 for that little jar. I mean, this is maybe 50 cents worth of rice, you know, for the same volume. I expected it to puff up and be a really full pot or something. Nope. So there you go. Definitely worth making, but do it with rice. I think that would be a lot better. Absolutely love the flavor. The smoked paprika really does make a difference. I'm not sure if I can honestly taste the saffron. It was very potent aromatically, but the paprika is really the main thing I'm tasting. I can taste the sweetness of the peppers, and definitely the shrimp. And the turkey doesn't have a lot of flavor on its own, but I can taste that. I would have to taste it back to back without the saffron to tell you exactly what it's adding. But I put a good amount in here, so you know, it's as much as it gets. Yeah, even just the quinoa and the sauce, really not much flavor there. I taste more of green pepper flavor than anything. So there you go. Definitely give it a shot, because this is really good. It's very easy if you're not making a video, at least. But yeah, definitely try the rice. Save some money. And you know what? I would have to say skip the saffron unless you have it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to see what it's like, because I'd never cooked with it before. But now I know. And now you guys know. So take my word for it or try it yourself. But definitely give this dish a shot. I like it. See you next time.